question is, what is executive functioning? So there's a lot of skills that go along with it. So we're gonna kind of break them down. So the first, planning and study skills, okay? Planning is something that as adults, we know we have to do. Kids struggle with this a little bit more, right? Especially as they get older when they're juggling multiple assignments, multiple tests, multiple papers, planning out when they are going to complete the work and knowing how to study for tests. This is huge, 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 huge. There are so many different study tools out there, but a lot of teachers have so much academic material to cover, they often don't even get into study skills. So teaching your child, this is how we should study, okay? This is what the environment should be like. It should be quiet. You should be at a desk. You shouldn't be laying at your bed. Things that to us seem pretty self-explanatory, but we really need to instill those in our children from a young age. And it can be something as simple as when they're little, whenever they do coloring or writing or reading, make them sit in a real chair, make them sit up, have them do it at a little table, right? Instilling that when we're doing any sort of work, even if it's play work, they want to be in the right environment, the right setting, sitting up straight, being able to grip their pencil or their crayon or their marker the right way. And then as they get older, we can start incorporating different things, right? Post-its and flashcards. There's a great website called Quizlet, Quizlet, that allows you to create digital flashcards. And in fact, if you just Google Quizlet and a topic like geology or United States geography, a lot of Quizlet sets are already created and they're open to the public. So your child could just open one up and use that as a study tool. So really just telling your child, look, this is how you are going to study. And it's okay to do. It's okay to say, hey, what tests do you have this week? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna set aside a little time. You're gonna be at your desk. What's one thing you're gonna do to study for this test? Are you gonna use flashcards? Are you gonna open your textbook? Are you gonna do some reading, some practice problems? So, and I know that seems like something extra that we have to do, not that parents don't have enough to do, but the study skills piece is so important and so often it's just not taught in class. So little things at home really help with this. Also, obviously, our tutors at Be Able Learning teach executive functioning. Study skills can be a whole hour. It sounds crazy, but it really, really can be, and it's so essential. The next pieces of executive functioning are time management and organization, okay? Organization's a big one. I think that's something that adults struggle with, a lot of adults, and it's something that takes a long time to develop, right? So we have to really help our kids with this. How to do it. One thing is just checking in on their binders at the end of every week, Friday when they come home. If they're little boo-boos, take 5 minutes, go through their folders, get rid of any junk, any candy wrappers, any pencils that are broken, little things like that. And again, they're seeing you do that. They're seeing you going through saying, okay, you know what, we need to clean this out. We want to stay organized. Then when they get older, that's their responsibility. Okay, every Friday from 3 to 3:10, you need to go through your folders. You need to go through your backpack. Okay, little things like that, keeping their materials organized. Any papers in their binder that are falling out because the holes have ripped, those should go in your folder. Having homework from October and it's January, maybe we don't need that homework anymore. If they're old tests, hey, let's have a folder to keep your old exams in. If your child's old enough for where there will be like major exams, like finals, you can keep all those old tests in a separate folder at home. But again, keeping their folders or binders or file folders, if they have a big one, keeping those clean and organized, that's a huge one. And setting aside some time, 5 minutes on the weekend to do that with your child, like I said, when they're little, and then they'll have an easier time transitioning to doing that on their own. The other piece, time management, kind of ties into the planning that we just talked about, right? Oh, this is a hard one, right? Time management, again, a hard one for us adults. Kids tend to focus on what they want to do, gaming, screen time, sports. the biggest thing for time management is really a calendar. When they're little, if there's a family calendar, that's great. So they can see you using a planning tool. Again, monkey see, monkey do, right? Little kids will see you, their parents planning, and will learn from just seeing that experience. Then as they get older, they maybe have a concrete calendar where they're writing their things every day. Soccer on Mondays from 4 to 6. Lego Club on Tuesdays from 2 to 3, where they're actually writing it in. Something else which is great digitally is Google Calendar. I love the color coding that comes with Google Calendar. You can do personal activities in blue and school clubs in yellow and homework time in green. And having that visual, even from a young age, is so helpful. In fact, I just made a Google Calendar for one of my students in 3rd grade because she was having a lot of anxiety. She does a lot of extracurriculars. So mom and dad were like, she's struggling. She's so nervous about getting things done. She's got this big packet of work at the beginning of the week and she wants to do it all right away, but she's getting so stressed out. So we went through, we made a visual, what she has every day and where in her days we could set aside time for her to do this packet. So it wasn't so overwhelming. So calendars can be used with kids of all ages, okay? So whether they're concrete or digital, that's such a great tool for time management. And of course, timers, setting timers for 10 minutes of studying. When it dings, grab a snack, take 5 minutes, start the timer again. Color coding your concrete calendars just like your digital calendars. That's a great one. Okay, so all of these can be incorporated at home. Oh, and a planner. School planners. I know some kiddos get planners from school and they don't use them. Really try to enforce that, okay? And even if they fight you on it, they will thank you later as they get older and again have multiple assignments and multiple tests to keep up with. Okay. Adaptability and flexibility, okay? This is also something adults struggle with. So again, teaching our kids this at a young age. This one, there's no concrete tool, right? It's not so easy to be like, be flexible, just go with the flow. Because for some kids, it's really hard. Kids love structure. Even if they don't know it, they need it. But being flexible, that's hard to teach. Something as simple as prepping your child for the school year or even in social situations. Oh, things change. That's okay. Oh, you can't see Sally today. You'll see them tomorrow. And even doing some forward thinking. Well, if the time changes, what's the consequence? What will happen? Will something bad happen? Okay, oh, you'll miss your favorite show. Okay, can we record it so that you can watch it later? And then you can still do this activity, but you'll still get to see your show. So this is something that you really want to work on when kids are young. I think of all of them, this one especially when they're young. Just letting them know things change and that's okay. And if they need to, you can even write it out. Make a T-chart. You draw a line down a piece of paper and put, activity, consequence. What will happen if there's a change? Some children really need that visual, and that's a great tool to use. Finally, and this is probably the biggest one and probably the most difficult, self-advocacy and goal setting. Okay, this is really, really tricky for kids. It's tricky for adults. I feel like all of these skills that we've talked about are tricky for adults. Goal setting is really something that comes from within, right? If your child struggles with reading, setting a simple goal where I want to be able to read a Babysitter's Club book. I want to be able to read a certain teen magazine, without asking for help. Try to tie in the goals to their interests, especially to start. It's hard when goals just are solely or academic. You want the child to buy in. If it's something that they like, then that's going to be a lot easier to get them to buy in. If they love tennis, set that goal. Hey, you know what? Maybe by the end of the summer, let's set the goal that you're going to be able to improve your backhand swing. something little, but really start with tying it into their own personal interests before tying it into the academic. And make them attainable, make them small. If your child really struggles with CVC words, like that's vowel and consonant words, like cat, at, making the goal that they're going to read a whole chapter book in 2 months, that might be too tricky, right? So you're going to read this whole list of words by the end of the month. That's a lot more attainable, and you want children to feel successful. So you want the goals to be smaller, and then they can get bigger and bigger as they get used to it. And finally, self-advocacy. This is hard for kids because so many kids, they want to be respectful. They don't want to question adults. And absolutely, we always want kids to be respectful of their elders, of their teachers, of their parents. But children, especially those with learning challenges, sometimes need something special. And if they're sitting in class and they're lost, we want to tell them it's okay to say to your teacher after class, you know what, Miss Smith, I'm confused, or you're writing so fast. Is there a way I could get the notes ahead of time so I can copy them down, or could you make me a copy of the notes? We want children to be able to feel comfortable to speak about what they need in the classroom, because tutors and educators and parents, we're not with them all the time. We're not with them in their heads, right? We can't know what they're thinking. So we want to really instill in them that it's okay to ask for what you need in a respectful way, whether it be to parents, teachers, tutors, anyone on their team, anyone on their support team. It's okay to say, you know, I'm having a really hard time focusing. Maybe I need a fidget. Maybe I need to be moved up closer to the teacher. And sometimes students, obviously, especially when they're younger, won't know exactly what they need, and that's okay too. But starting young, you know, tell mom and dad if you're having a hard time at soccer. Tell mom and dad if you love art. Little things just about communication and getting them comfortable with sharing their feelings. And then as they grow, let them know, hey, just like you told us how you were feeling when you're younger, we want to know that. Your teachers want to know how you are feeling so that we can help you be successful. All of these skills that we talked about, they are all under the umbrella of executive functioning, and there's a lot of them. They can all be worked on at home in small ways. And they are definitely worked on at school, even if they're not the focus. And of course, here at Be Able Learning Services, we specialize in executive functioning. So if you come to us for tutoring, we can definitely tie it into academics, or we can have sessions solely on executive functioning if that's what your child needs. So really, this video is intended to teach adults and parents about what executive functioning is, how it can be incorporated at home in small ways, and to let you know that Be Able Learning is here to help in any way we can. So thank you so much for checking out our latest vlog. And again, I will link the blog that goes with this down below. Thank you so much.